What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Everything Paranormal Show. I'm your host, Josh Morris, and tonight we're going to be diving into paranormal laundering. And I know it's kind of an interesting term. I think I coined it. I'm just going to go ahead and call that, but we're going to get into it. So stay with me. You're going to want to find out what exactly it means. So, folks, I don't know who's all in the chat, but welcome. As you pop in here, please feel free to say hi. We're going to get in this. I'm just giving people a little bit more time to get in here because they know that my show starts at 9. I went live like 5 minutes early just so you guys get a chance to get notifications and get your last minute stuff. Stacy, hey, how's it going? It's good to see you in there. I think Bob's here. Jennifer Atwell, hey, happy to be here. Good to see you. We're going to get into things real soon. So again, just hang tight. We're going to get into some paranormal laundering. So I know maybe some of you might be wondering what that is. Of course, you can see we've got some laundromat stuff going on, and you got us a nice little ghost here. So to do some paranormal laundering, if that's a word, laundering. I don't know. Paranormal laundering. There we go. But paranormal laundering, we are going to get into that definition. So, folks, I really hope you guys are having a good night. I'm in a good mood. Terry Lynn, hey, baby, I'm glad to see you in the chat. Folks, normally Terry Lynn is my wife. When you see Beyond the Veil, that's my wife, Terry Lynn. She has been coming on the show lately, but tonight she's actually a little under the weather. Not feeling too great. So she's just kind of chilling, laying down. She's kind of quarantine herself in her own room, and I don't want to use that word. She doesn't have the couth, the beer bug. She already had it before, and so she knows what that feels like. This is just like a normal, like sore throat kind of. It's like a normal sickness. So yes, folks. So I just wanted to let you all know. But yes, I am so excited to get started here. So what do you guys think? You want to get going? I don't know if there's anything. Last week I apologize. I did not have a show. Again, I'm sorry. We had a death in the family, and I lost somebody that was pretty close to me, and it was kind of rough. So I really wasn't ready to do a show on paranormal right at that moment. So it was pretty rough. Bob, hey, how's it going? Damn dyslexia. Yes, Bob, I'm glad to see you in the chat as well. Guys, you guys are all showing up tonight. I love it. Bob, you like my background? I picked it out just for you. So, all right. So let's go ahead. Let's just get into it. For those of you that are popping in here later, if you're not watching this live, I appreciate you just the same. So please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and go give some love to Paranormal Underground Magazine right there. Boop. All right. So paranormal laundering. What do I mean by that? Well, so you guys are, of course, some of you probably have heard the term money laundering, right? This is an illegal scheme. This is used from people basically, and I'm not going to go into the actual exact definition, but to sum it up for you, it's taking illegal money, then running it through a filter to make it legal. So what do I mean by that? So if, like a filter could be like putting it through like a legitimate business, or putting it like into some kind of overseas bank account, and it sort of becomes legal money, right? This is the whole money laundering thing, to take this dirty money and to make it clean, and not so much in the physical sense, but as in the legal sense, right? Matt, what's going on, buddy? It's good to see you. Thank you. So I appreciate it. So yes, yeah, I know. I love the background. I was trying to do the whole, obviously money laundering and the laundromat and ghosts and stuff. So yes, but all right. So paranormal laundering, what does that mean? Well, as you guys know, there is a lot of fake videos out there on the internet. So I'm going to explain this. So bear with me. Okay. So I believe roughly we have about 4 different types of paranormal laundering that happen on a regular basis. So, and by the way, since I think I may have coined this term, I'm not sure. I'm not trying to brag. What I am saying is maybe you're going to start hearing it now more often. And debunkers, other paranormal channels, whatever you want to do, you guys can use this term. I didn't copyright or anything, nothing stupid. So you have my permission. No big deal. I don't care. So paranormal laundering. So what this means is that people that have fake videos out there, they run them through a filter and they make them legitimate. Bear with me. I'm gonna give you some examples. We're gonna go through all 4 versions. So the first version I want to talk about in paranormal laundering, and this is a classic one. Okay, you guys see this a lot, and if you ever watch, if I'm sure you guys in the chat, you guys have probably watched some of these top 5 channels. You know what I'm talking about. Hey, this is top 5 channel. Please watch. Or if you'd like to watch this channel, please subscribe and watch this top 5 videos. You know what I'm talking about, right? So you watch some of these top 5s, and this gets pointed out in those, and you hear this from other people. So paranormal laundering. This is when you see an investigator. We're just going to stick with paranormal investigators for the most part, right? People that are involved in the paranormal mystery. So you see the investigator and something happens in the background, right? And they don't see it. Therefore, it's legitimate, right? So the investigator didn't point it out. They didn't say anything. And then later a viewer pointed it out and said, hey, by the way, did you see that dude in the window? Whatever, blah, blah, blah. Or did you hear that? Or, whenever it's a viewer. So therefore is the filter. Therefore, it's legitimate. See, people say it must be legitimate because the paranormal investigator didn't see it and a viewer saw it. So therefore, it's got to be real. That's paranormal laundering because it is a tactic, folks. That's why I want to point this out. This is something that is used quite often. Now, something that can accompany that is the classic. You guys hear this too. You hear these channels that'll say, hey, if you guys watch this, if you see anything that we didn't catch, hey, leave a comment down below, blah, blah, blah. I use that. Okay. It doesn't mean that you're always faking things. I want to make that disclaimer. It means that, again, but it just means that, that obviously if something that you didn't catch, you want your subscribers to be engaged. And if they do catch something, point it out. There's a legitimate use for that. And then there's the baiting, there's the paranormal laundering, right? Because they know a lot of times it's something staged. They know that their viewers are going to go everything like the Zapruder film. They're going to go over it with a fine-tuned comb and a fine-tooth comb, not tune comb, a tooth comb. And they're going to go over it and they're going to find it most likely. And if not, they're going to have one of their buddies pop on there and say, hey, did you happen to see this? And act like a viewer or whatever. So this is what I'm talking about. Paranormal laundering. You see how that works, right? They fake a video or there's a fake whatever staged portion of the video, but if they ignore it and they leave it in the background, why do you think sometimes the camera just happens to be shifted? All of a sudden, the paranormal guy is over here, and then you're just seeing a bunch of background, but you see it happen over in the background, even though maybe they should have been in the center of the camera. So it's like sometimes they have those weird little moments, and you're like, gee, I wonder why they were shooting off center. Anyways, and sometimes you shoot off center. Again, I don't want to just say every time, but it is a tactic, guys. Paranormal laundering. So they didn't see it. It was pointed out by somebody else. Therefore, it's got to be real. All right. Number two, This is the second example of paranormal laundering. And this is another major one, and you guys see this. And again, it gets pointed out on the top 10 channels. Did you see it? It gets pointed out a lot. Okay. And that is when the clip that was submitted or when people show something and it happens on a live stream, right? It happened on a live show. Therefore, it must be real. Okay. And you guys know what I'm talking about. Problem is that, again, if you go into a live show, you can fake paranormal. If you go into it and you know what you're doing and you have it staged or whatever, if you work it out ahead of time, you can have something that seems completely, and especially when they combine a live show and they didn't see it. All right. So you can combine the paranormal laundering techniques. So you can have a live show, have something happen behind you, pretend it didn't happen, and somebody will inevitably point it out, either on the stream or later on when people are watching it later. Either way, it makes it seem legal, right? They took a fake staged incident, ran it through the whole filter process of live, and it came out. Therefore, it has to be real. Paranormal laundering. You see how this is working, folks? This is what I'm talking about. This is why it's important. And so I've kind of said in like the title and the description, like, are you involved? Meaning like, hey, are you helping this out? Sometimes we do. We do contribute to this because in the comments we'll be like, or we'll tell people, oh man, it was live, so it had to be real. It was live. So we're like adding that. We're the ones, unfortunately, and we're sort of that pawn. They're relying on us to make it legitimate. So yes, sometimes we do play a part in these things. That's why I just wanted to add that. All right, number 3, and I know we're kind of getting through them. We're still with just short of the 20-minute mark of our live feed. I've really only been talking for about 12 minutes, but I really want to make sure we get through some of these so you guys understand this. So number 3, all right, this is the third technique, and this is pretty common as well. Again, you see this a lot, and they bring it up on a lot of these top 5 channels, top 10, top 15, whatever. And that is, well, they don't normally do any paranormal videos, therefore it's got to be real. Okay? If it's not their profession, they're not involved in paranormal, and they have a paranormal, they capture something on video, therefore it's got to be real because so example, fishing channel, right? Nothing but fishing and rebuilding reels and rods and the best places to go and all these things, right? Tips, tricks, all these things on fishing. But one day he happens to, or she captures a Bigfoot on the shore. And of course, is it a great image? No, it's something in the distance, looks like a guy in a gorilla suit, captures it for a little bit, a minute of video or less probably, and it goes viral. And because the guy does fishing videos, it's probably real because, hey, why would he do something like that? He's not into that kind of stuff. Folks, don't fall for this, okay? Please. This is a thing, okay? A lot of these channels that don't do paranormal, they know that that they can capture paranormal activity and it can go viral. And especially the fact that they don't do paranormal, this brings attention to their channel. This is traffic. This brings their channel into a new light. They have something to gain from this. They really do. People are, well, why would they do? They're not even involved in paranormal. Because they're getting all the views and the traffic. They're getting that, folks. So this is what I'm saying. Paranormal laundering. Okay. They know what they're doing. You might not think it. They know what they're doing. And I'm going to tell you why. So some people might say, well, Josh, Like, why would they even think of this stuff? Well, take it from somebody like me. So as you guys have been seeing my paranormal journey, and I'm starting to stream on Paraflix, and I'm doing the Para Explorers and stuff like that. I'm trying to learn how to get better and better with cinematography. So I watch a lot of videos, I study a lot of things, and when you're watching a lot of these like Adobe Premiere, Adobe After Effects, you're watching a lot of these videos, and of course YouTube, the algorithms, right? They throw more videos at you, and inevitably you do stumble across videos on how to do certain effects, and some of those cross into the paranormal type territory where you can fake paranormal using special effects and things like that. So again, these are things that some of these channels maybe didn't start out with that intention. They knew that they were looking for something to maybe go viral so they could, elevate their channel. And then they stumble across this one day and they say, hey, that's an idea. Now, does it make it right? No, because it's still a crime, I guess. Like, you're still deceiving people. That'd be like you stumble across on the internet how to rob a bank and get away with it. And you're like, well, hey, I could rob a bank and get away with it. Cool. No, it's not. It's still a crime, and you still can go to prison and whatever. And it's ethically wrong, even if you got away with it. So this is what I'm talking about, folks. Don't be fooled by this stuff. Just because they don't normally do it, again, this is the perfect reason why they do these things, because they're doing paranormal laundering. Okay, I'm going to take a quick second out. Bob says, "Oh wait, let me catch up here. Let's look at the chat. I'm going to the chat. Hey, Josh, okay. Wow, there is fake stuff out there. What did this have? Obviously, Bob being sarcastic. Matt says, I hate those voices. Honestly, so annoying. I would think that a particularly evil ghost comes across as a poor, lost little child to draw you in is a form of spiritual paranormal laundering. That's just a trap. But this is to, again, filter through and make it seem legitimate. So now listen, I know a lot of times, like, some of these fake creators, they always try to legitimize it. They always like, hey, look, and they try to prove it all the time. Like, look, there's nobody here. And they're always trying to legitimize it. Like I said, they're always trying to do that. But the point of paranormal laundering is that, again, they're getting us to do their bidding because we say, oh, well, they didn't see it, or it was a live show, or they don't do paranormal, so therefore it has to be real. Okay? You see? So that's another tactic that they're using. Now, I want to get into a fourth one. The fourth one is crafty. It's a little shady. And I almost didn't consider an actual fourth one, but then the more I thought about it, I was like, I was going to kind of do it as like an honorable mention. I was just going to do like the three we just talked about. But then I was like, the more I thought about it, I was like, this happens a lot. So this is another form of trying to make it legitimate through the eyes of the fan. See, we are like the legitimate businesses out there. So mafias or bad guys will take their money, and one of the techniques for their dirty money is to run it through a legitimate business. That's like mafias have a front sometimes, like a legitimate business that they run so they can filter in the illegal money into the legitimate business. We're the fans, the ones watching, the subscribers to these channels. We are like the legitimate business, and they're running their fake stuff through us through these particular methods right here. And we're going, well, yeah, I can see where some of it could be fake, but look, this is the laundering part, but it was a live show. Therefore, it has to be real or whatever. And some of their diehard fans, they will defend them. They are like the biggest contributors to paranormal laundering because they're so sucked in, and they feel like it's like that their guy is so legitimate. They're like, no, he really is legitimate. I've been watching him, he's such a good person and such a sweetheart. Yeah, I know, but you're getting suckered. And I know. And they say, but they don't normally do paranormal or whatever, whatever the things is. So, and actually there is a fifth honorable mention, but let's talk about number 4. But real quick, what did Stacey just say? It's easier to fool someone than it is to convince them they have to be fooled, or convince them that they have been fooled. Apologize. I see you see me. Hey, good to see you pop in there. If you just missed the beginning, you'll have to go back because we're just explaining some of this paranormal laundering. I think you'll like it. Since I only watch your show, I probably will never see paranormal laundering. Well, okay, so here's a fourth one that happens actually more than you probably think. So some of you may be watching the interwebs, the YouTube and whatnot. You might be watching some channels, and you may see a video from the 90s or the 80s, like an old VHS tape, something that somebody broke out from their childhood or whatever. They're like, yeah, I dug this out from my childhood, or if it's on one of those top 5 shows, they might tell you that it was something that they were going through their old films or whatever. And then there's something paranormal. And here's the paranormal laundering aspect of it. So what people say when they see paranormal on some of these old tapes is they say the technology didn't exist then to fake that the way it's faked. Therefore, it has to be real, right? So, hey, good evening. I don't even know if I can pronounce your name. I'm sure it's probably something easy too. But anyways, C4, good evening. So yeah, for those of you that are just coming in, please later on go back, watch the beginning, because again, I'm explaining the different types of paranormal laundering. But this one, okay, so the technology didn't exist. What you got to understand, folks, is just because they said that they pulled out some old VHS tape, whatever, a lot of these people are converting them to digital nowadays. And once they convert them to digital, they can go in with After Effects and things like that. They can do the technology now for the videos back then. Okay, so again, just because the technology didn't exist back then, yeah, I can understand that. But again, calamities, yeah, it could be. Now that you bring it out, because you're probably, I know. See, when somebody comes in and they got like a name like that, it's like then you gotta spend some time to like figure it out, and you're like, I just didn't want to put the show to a stop, but I do. You guys know the chat's always been able to participate in my show. So, but yes, Calamities, good to see you. Welcome. Welcome to the show. Keep coming back every Thursday. We talk about all kinds of cool stuff. All right. There's a fifth honorable mention for paranormal laundering. And this technique, and I don't even know if you want to say an honorable mention. I really think that this could just be a fifth one. Let's just call it a fifth one. So the fifth one, okay, is this. I'm just going to tell you what the people, how they legitimize it. So they'll watch somebody and they'll say, well, I watched it and it was an uncut. And because it was uncut, it has to be real. There's no way it could have physically happened or whatever. It was uncut. Therefore, it has to be real. So that's another way of legitimizing through the viewers, right? Is claiming something is uncut. I like the air quotes, like uncut. Okay. Now, let me just tell you this, folks. There's a lot of footage out there that claims to be uncut. I'm starting to feel like Dr. Evil. Anyways, there's a lot of footage that claims to be that. It's not, okay? Rarely is it ever. Now, there could be uncut footage and then possibly special effects added to it later. But here's an example of what I'm really talking about. So, and this is a fictional example. So let's say you're investigating a house that's had known poltergeist activity. You're starting to walk up the stairs. You pause at the bottom of the stairs. You look over. You look over with the camera, and you see the chairs, right? Like just kitchen chairs. They're just sitting there chilling. You just look over. Nothing's going on. You start to walk. You turn. You start to walk back up the stairs. And as soon as you turn and will start to walk back up the stairs, you hear a noise and you whip back, and all of a sudden the chairs are stacked in like a poltergeist fashion. And then people are like, I watched it. It was uncut. There's no way somebody could have done all that without making any noise, except for the one little noise you heard. And there's just no way, there wasn't enough time. There's no way anybody could physically. Let me stop you right there. It's fake. Okay? It's fake because it happens in the whip. And I just whipped my mic. It happens in the whip. As soon as that noise happens, whatever, it doesn't matter. Maybe there isn't a noise. Maybe he hears it or whatever, or she, and they whip the camera. There's a cut. Okay, guaranteed. There's a cut in there. And in this fictional example, I know there's a cut. But anyways, there's a cut in there because they stop or they cut, and when they whip back, there's nothing there. The chairs are still there. But they stop filming, and the buddy goes over, or even them, doesn't matter. If they're with somebody, without somebody, they walk over, they stack the chairs, they get back in position, they aim the camera back going up the stairs, they start recording, they whip back over and go, oh my God, well, look at this chairs. Then they go in the editing room and they splice in the middle of the whip cut, right? In the middle of the camera turning, there's that motion blur, right? And then they just cut half the one and half the other if they want. And then as far as audio, they can overlay the audio, and they take little samples of the actual audio from one of the clips, the environment, and they lay it over top the little cut, right? So we just see them walking up the stairs, they turn, it looks good. We don't hear any cues that tell us there was a cut. We don't hear anything, and we don't see it because of the motion blur. So nothing triggers our human brains to say there was a cut there. But if you stop it and you frame by frame it, that's usually where you'll see one of them is misaligned. It's like having motion blur lines that are just, they're off. In one frame to another, they're just off a little, right? And that's how you know there was the cut in there. All right. But in real time, it's almost impossible to tell that there was a cut. Now, sometimes some of these guys do a bad job, and when they do their whip pans, sometimes they forget their marks, I guess, or something, and we kind of catch it. Some of us will catch it and go, wait a minute. Especially if you're the type of person that you kind of spatially know what's around off camera as they move around, you kind of logging it in your brain, and then when they maybe they miss their mark or whatever, and they turn, and then all of a sudden they're like in a different position. You're like, wait a minute, that wall's not there normally, or wait a minute, they're like off or whatever. Anyways, sometimes you can catch bad ones. So that's why I wanted to say, paranormal laundering is just, all that is the concept. It's the same thing as money laundering, just with doing it with paranormal videos. Again, people are going to fake videos, and they're going to try to pass them off as real. They're going to fake paranormal, and of course they're not always using these techniques. These are just those extra techniques, the therefore it must be real thing. That's where the paranormal laundering comes in, is, hey, we didn't see it. Therefore, the investigator didn't see it. A viewer pointed out, it's got to be real. Or, well, it was a live show. Therefore, it's got to be real. Or, well, they don't do paranormal. It's a fishing channel. He caught Bigfoot. So why would he fake it? He's a fishing channel. It's got to be real. Or, hey, the technology doesn't even exist back then to fake something like that. So it's got to be real. Or, of course, it was uncut. 30 minutes uncut. Now, I did a 30-minute uncut, and it really is 30 minutes uncut. It's hard to say, like, who's really doing it, who's really not. I could say it and try to pass it off. Other people can fake it and then say, it's uncut. So it's hard to say. It really is, guys. I wish I could give you, like, a better, answer as far as who's doing it, who's not, because unfortunately, some of this is legitimate. Like, I mean, I don't want to say some of it, but like if you see chairs in a matter of 1 second, or a video, and all of a sudden they turn back and they're stacked all the way up to the almost the ceiling, whatever, they're stacked up. Yeah, you might as well go frame by frame. And not only that, sometimes on YouTube, like people try to do the slow motion on YouTube, you're only playing at a quarter speed. Now, like I have an editor, so like I can watch. So like, for example, let me give you guys an example. So we record all my son's tennis matches, and sometimes just for fun, like he'll play opponents that make bad calls sometimes. Like they call his ball out and things like that. Or if my son calls it out, sometimes I'll argue with him. They'll be like, why'd you call my ball out, or whatever? Well, like, so sometimes we try to analyze it and, or just for fun to see, does our son have a good eye? Is the other person sort of a cheater? Whatever, we just like to kind of see where some of these calls, if there's controversial calls. So there was a match recently, and so my wife kind of went through frame by frame. She's like, I don't know, Josh. She's like, I can't see it. I can't tell, I can't tell where the ball lands. Well, that's because, with YouTube slow motion, things like that, it's missing a lot of frames. Whereas I was able to take it into my editor and go frame by frame and see where the ball made contact with the court. And I was able to show that and show that the ball was actually out, even though the person didn't agree and they said that it was in. But my son has a good eye and he's a fair person. It was really out. Anyways, but that's the point I'm trying to make, is that sometimes some of you guys try to do that. You try to debunk some things with slow motion and stuff like that, but you can't always tell unless you get it into something that can break it down a little more frame by frame. Also, sometimes too, you lose quality when the videos get uploaded to YouTube. Sometimes you'll lose quality, and if you don't have the original, you can lose frames, and it's kind of hard to go frame by frame. Just because, like I said, most likely the uploader has the original videos and has every single frame. Now, if you were to take their original video, their original file from their camera or whatever, and or the original file for the video that's uploaded before it was rendered, yeah, you could probably put it in an editor and you could see all their little edits and overlays and but in any case. All right, so Bob says, Josh, in your opinion, I'll put it up here real quick. Josh, in your opinion, how much of the Paranormal Caught on Tape show is laundered? Well, again, all these shows are very similar when it comes to, like, especially when they have that narration. And if they ever say anything like, if they say any of that stuff, if they say that, well, that this was submitted by a viewer and that the original creator of the video didn't even see it, again, most likely it's probably faked. And so sometimes you have to ask yourself, what does that person have to gain? And most of the time there is always something to gain, especially with some people. They just want the attention. And so they're like, oh, and especially when you see some of these TikTokers or whatever, and some of these, like, they're doing the streams and they're playing their whatever. And like I said, a lot of times they'll just be a little off camera, and in the background they'll have their bed, right? They'll have a bed back there, and then something falls off the bed, or maybe something's in the window or whatever. Like there's all kinds of different ones I've seen. And of course they don't always react to it. And of course sometimes, like, they'll say something in the chat like, dude, there's somebody behind you or back in the window, and then they'll go and they'll run, whatever, and they'll react to something, and of course it'll be gone. And it's not like they can take the camera and show you where people are hiding. And there's also a technique of hiding people. And this is a technique that I'm going to show. I'm going to show some of you guys. Hey, B3A Airspace. Trying to talk. Thank you. Good subject. Well, again, paranormal laundering. This is something I really wanted to point out to you guys because this is the perfect cover for these people. For fake videos. It's like me trying to convince you of something that happens in the background and saying, "Hey, that's legitimate." Like, did you see that, guys? Well, if I point it out to you, you're like, people could be like, "Yeah, man, Josh wanted us to see it." He wanted to have the attention or whatever. But if I'm just talking or whatever, and something happens in the background, and you guys later on say, "Dude, you see it? It's got to be real because Josh never even pointed out." I mean, it's that process. It legitimizes something that I staged without me actually having to, try to legitimize it. I use the audience to legitimize it or the fake. I wouldn't do that to you guys. Seriously. Well, that's one thing I'm really, and you guys know, like, if you watch Para Explorers, Paraflix, my episode 1, like, even with fictional elements in the show, if I'm going to have real paranormal in there, like a real investigation, I have a disclaimer. It says, yes, there are fictional elements. However, the paranormal that's captured and presented is not faked. It's 100%. Because I won't do that to you guys. Now, if it's a complete fictional work and it's like an actual film, like some screenplays or something that I create and film, that's different. That's a film. It's a fictional film, and it will say, the following events are fictional, whatever. But again, if it's a hybrid, I'm going to tell people, hey, and I'm not going to fake the paranormal, even if it's a hybrid. There'll be other things that may be fictional, but it won't be the paranormal, if that makes sense. But anyways, back to what I was saying on the one thing is that there's a technique too that they will use, and this is not so much paranormal laundering as more I'm just talking about some fake things. And I'm gonna be doing a 2-part video coming up, guys, where I'm gonna show you how to fake paranormal. It's gonna be pretty cool. The first one is gonna be some practical effects. I'm gonna show you guys some different things that you can do super cheap, for free, whatever. Like I said, practical effects. And then the second one, we'll kind of get a little bit to the virtual effects or using some of the editor software to help you fake some paranormal. So I'm going to do that for you guys to show you. And it'll be fun. It'll be a fun video. But one of the techniques that I'm going to actually illustrate for you guys is it's something used a little bit as well by magicians, and that is they use the stage, right? So they use perspectives, they use the camera, and they use the stage. So in other words, sometimes when you see like the disappearing assistants and things like that, sometimes it's illusions depending on where they stand. So if you were to go behind the scenes, now sometimes they show you behind and you're like, oh my God, they took me behind everything and I don't see them. Trust me, they're always hiding and moving people, right? All the time. Well, some of these ghost hunters use the same technique. So for example, there's a video I just saw recently where these guys aren't really known for a lot of faking. But in fact, if you guys, I don't always want to plug everybody, but I like this guy. I can't help it. But the Shape, he does debunking. Well, in any case, one of the things he brought up in a recent video for you, so go check out his channel. And there's a recent video where he alludes and he talks about this. But this is something that we have known about, but this is just a good example. So there's like this team. They're not largely known for like faking things, but there's like this loft kind of attic area, and at one point they pan and you see the whole attic. and there's one section off to the right where they prop up some plywood, so to speak. It's perfect to hide someone behind. But in any case, later on, as things happen and they go upstairs, like there's noises and they're like, there's footsteps. Sounds like somebody's up there. Well, they go up there, and the way they don't always pan all the way to the right. They sort of show you a bunch of the attic, but they really don't show you the full part of the attic. And sometimes they may, if there's a good enough hiding spot, if they feel like that they can get away with it, they'll show you the whole attic or the whole room or whatever it is. But again, it's just camera tricks. Another one is, and this is a classic one, I've seen this used. Oh my God. I've seen this so many times. And there's a pretty popular channel that's a few 100,000, and the stuff is laughable. But anyways, he likes to go to these homes, and the door will slam. Like you'll see, like he'll be looking down a hallway, and the door will slam, and he'll go running down there, and he'll open up the door. He'll go into the room. He'll show you the room, and then he'll walk out, and then you'll hear another door down the hall slam, and he'll go running down there, and it can happen all day long, because what they're doing is he's running down there, he's opening the door, the guy's behind the door, and as soon as he goes into the room, he does this weird pan around, but he does it in a way that like the guy can escape and go out the door and down the hall as he's still kind of panning around. And by the time he gets back to the door that he walked in, the dude's already gone down the hall and is ready to do the trick again. And then repeat, rinse and repeat over and over. And you can run around this house all day long with doors slamming, noises happening. And as soon as you go into that room, there's this weird pan around, and you just never see a full instant view of, hey, nobody's there. There's always an escape. And people fall for it. People watch it and they fall for it, and they subscribe to this person, and other people like him, and it's just comical. So guys, just again, don't fall for this stuff. All right. Now, and again, what really sucks is that when legitimate paranormal happens, again, it just hurts the legitimate creators. Because, for example, like somebody like myself who will not fake it, right? So I could have something that happens in the background, and maybe I don't catch it in the edit. Because, I think one thing somebody said recently was like they're editing it, right? And they're editing it. Well, here's the thing. Just because you're editing it or you have a good editor doesn't mean you're going to catch everything that goes on. Because believe it or not, a lot of times when you're editing big investigations or just an investigation like that, I mean, first of all, my editor, I try to have it on pretty good size screen, but I'm always trying to look at certain timing and this and that. I'm trying to hear things. There's just so much going on, and I'm trying to tell the story through the edit process that I don't always look in the background. So I try to, so again, that is one thing that I will kind of stick up for some of those people, is that you don't always catch it in the edit. But like I said, for legitimate creators, it kind of sucks because it's like, if something does happen in the background, again, I could technically, people could think that I'm trying to launder it, but all you can do is put it out there for the world. I just wanted to, I just wanted to bring this to your guys' attention, because paranormal laundering is real. People are conscious of it, though. That's the thing. I have seen people legitimately trying to launder these things, and they make it almost obvious sometimes. When you watch enough of these videos, some of this you will see them obviously trying to make sure you see it, and then they act like they don't see it. I mean, they like really go out of their way to do this sometimes. And that's how you know they're conscious of paranormal laundering. And like I said, don't get me wrong. These people with the fishing channels or singing or hell, even gaming channels, a lot of times there's something to be gained from it. And all it takes is one good little paranormal video. And sure enough, and they're clever about it. Some of these people are absolutely clever about doing it. Again, I seen a gaming channel where there was just a quick glimpse of like a dark figure. But that's all it takes, guys, is a quick glimpse, a coordinated, quick glimpse. And they pretend they didn't see it. They do their gaming, whatever, and viewers go back and see it later, and they're like, oh, my God, there was somebody in your house and blah. But they generated a bunch of traffic. So in any case, guys, wow. So there you go. I hope you guys liked this subject. Paranormal law. It's not something I know we talk about faking videos. We talk about this, but this is like an actual, these are tactics that are being used. So Stacy said, I think that's called the Zach. Zach, to me, I think Zach's classic. Well, there's a couple things that I think Zach is known for. One is, especially like the very first episode, I think it was like he like the go, like just the run, like something happens and he's like go, and just the whole running thing. I think that's a Zach right there. When you just start, like running from something. And the other thing is when he picks on that dude, was it Aaron or something, like that other guy? He's always like just putting that dude in some situations. But that's to me, that's like Zach. But good vibes, Tata. Yeah. So, but yes, paranormal laundering. It's real, folks. It's real. What else do you guys want to talk about? Anything else tonight? Let's see. What time is it? Like, we still got a little bit of time at the end here to do some ad-libbing stuff or whatever. Some on the spot paranormal. On the spot paranormal. I don't know, like a segment or something. Well, really quick. Paranormal Underground Magazine. They always sponsor our show, and we, sponsor them. So if you have not gotten your Paranormal Underground Magazine, you get a year for free just by going there, let them know I sent you, and you will get a year for free. I mean, you can't beat that. And it's going to come in your email, fully illustrated, like high def, like it looks amazing, and you guys will see it. And there's some great articles and things like that. So like, what was that? Did you see that? I mean, there's always going to okay, so let me kind of talk a little bit about that. So sometimes there is a balance between both worlds. And what I mean by both worlds is the debunking world and the entertainment sort of paranormal world. I'm kind of in the middle in a way, because I do ghost investigations, but I also like to try to debunk some things or to educate you guys on these techniques. So, but I don't necessarily set out to just debunk things, but I'm kind of in the middle. But now, like I said, some of the debunkers will say certain things and they'll say, well, kind of like what I was saying earlier when they say, well, when they say, hey guys, if you didn't, if we missed anything, let you know in the comments. I can't get on board with that fully, because I use that as well, because to me, that is kind of a legitimate thing for me. It's like, I want my audience to be engaged. And if they do find anything, because I rely on you guys too. Sometimes I've had you guys message me and say, hey, you remember that video where you were by the highway or whatever? Remember this video? Or they might even send me the link again. They say, hey, remember this video? Check out this timestamp. and it sounds like there's a voice, or like, is there something there? So like, I've had people reach out to me, and so I think that's cool. Like, I like that, because again, I'm not going to be able to catch everything. I'm sorry. Like, now if you're like a big production, and then you should have some type of quality control. You should have one or two people that you send the final cut to, and they can review everything and frame by frame it or whatever, and really do an in-depth review, and say, okay, hey, everything looks good, or hey, we found this, and then they can go back in, re-edit a little bit, final cut it, send it off, whatever. Maybe something on a bigger scale, they could do some production quality. But when you're small like me, man, by the time you edit your videos and you got your editing screen, and sometimes it might be a little small, a little big, whatever. And not only that, but like, when you edit, like when I use like Adobe's massive, like, in the effects, the After Effects, all of that, the stuff, Adobe is massive. And I have a built computer that I built myself, but it's not top of the line, and it's getting older and older all the time. So, I can't, when you edit, you don't always have it on full resolution. You're not editing in HD. Your little windows where you're previewing your stuff, and you got all your different editing stuff, you're watching on half resolution or a quarter resolution or whatever, so that way your computer doesn't burn up. So keep that in mind as well. I just wanted to pass that out there, because again, some of the debunkers think, hey, you should be able to catch everything. Again, I kind of have to disagree, only because I know when I go through the editing. And let's see, I love your Spooky Boo Ghost behind you, creepy Matt. Yeah. I know, I love that. I actually pulled that off the internet. I'm gonna admit, I didn't make this image. So whoever made this, don't be mad at me, but I really liked it and it fit well. So Josh, what gets me, and I do understand some, but those paranormal teams that charge tons of money for helping folks, that's not right. I don't know how many people charge. I mean, I'm not sure who all charges. Now, there's weird moments. I can't, it's hard to say, because I've never asked for a paranormal team to help me, and then they say, hey, we need money. Now it depends on, like, I know that there's sometimes they do private investigations where it's almost like it's not like a helping situation, as more of like, hey, if you want to personally hire us to do one-on-one training kind of hiring, that, like, there's kind of a weird place on that. You know what I mean? So I've seen that. I don't know if I agree with that. It's kind of like this. It's like, have you guys in your own local area, have you ever seen a public event where you get a local investigation team, and they make a deal with, like, say, a historical area, like an old mansion or an old cabin or something, and they sell tickets, and so the public, you get like a dozen people or so, they'll all pay like $20 for a ticket, and then they get to spend the night as an investigator. So it's like a group thing. So there's like a little class. Then they go, and then they'll go to the cabin. They each get to have like a EMF detector or something. So you're kind of like paying to role play as an investigator. So you kind of learn. So they call it a public event. And so and most of the money usually will go to like the place, like the historic society or whatever. So I'm not opposed to those. I think that's pretty cool. Like, if it's a fun thing, if people want to pay to go be an investigator for a night, that's cool. So I think there's some teams out there that may try to do that on more of a private level, where they're kind of viewing it as like a public thing, but they're like saying, hey, if you don't want other people and you just want us, like our attention only, and you want to investigate, then you can hire us to privately. I guess that'd be the best way I could say. So if you just didn't want to share the team and go to a public, you could hire them privately. But now if you actually need help and you want a team to come in and investigate for you, technically no, they should never charge. If they're a couple hundred miles away and they like ask for some gas money, I can understand that maybe, I don't think my wife and I has ever brought that up. Like when people's needed our help, if it's a little bit of a drive, I can't remember my wife ever saying, Josh, we need to ask for gas money. I mean, usually like if they're, a couple hundred miles away, we usually evaluate, is this something we can help them with? Do we have the time? Do we have the money? Usually with a couple hundred miles, we can do that in a tank of gas or two, or a tank of gas and back, whatever. We got a Outback, so our Subaru Outback gets like almost 30 miles to a gallon, so it's pretty cool. So right, yeah, Terry Lynn says I've never asked for money. So we've never asked for money. I can't imagine asking. Again, I will say though, if there's a couple hundred miles and a team asks for some gas money, I can kind of see that. But if they want to charge you to do investigations, then stay away from them. And I would even report them, like report them to the internet. I'm not trying to say cancel culture. I'm just saying, like, let people know, hey, if you got to do a Google review on them or whatever, just say, hey, these people wanted to charge me to do investigations. Stay clear of them. That's BS. Small amounts, yeah, Josh, understand. All of the training classes we give are free as well. One lady on TV, she asked large amounts of money to help folks. Not right. Myrtle's Plantation. I had a client we investigated last Saturday. She wanted to give us money and was shocked when we refused to take it. I mean, if they want to tip you, I mean, again, it's up to you on that. I mean, again, tipping is, in my opinion, like if they're giving you money as a tip, that's up to you if you want to take it or not. You don't have to. Like Bob, obviously they turned it down, and she was like, oh, or they flat out refused. So that's cool. Like that's to me, tipping is more of how do you really feel about it? If some people now, like there's some customers or clients, I would say there is some people that they're just very stubborn and they're like, no, I insist, and they really want you to have this money. I don't think that's really ever happened to us, but I know like it's happened to me before in the past with jobs that I've been in. So some people are just really insistent. So if that happens, you can take it. Again, just don't charge people to help them. Remember, we are okay, let me break this down for you guys real quick. Bear with me. So put yourself in their shoes. Some of you guys are experienced investigators. You know what to do. So you're coming from a different side of things. These clients, some of these people, they have no idea. Some of them are very Christian and they're very scared of what's happening to them. They need help. They legitimately need help. And a lot of times for them to reach out to a paranormal investigation team, that usually means they probably have exhausted other avenues. They've probably watched videos. They've looked it up on the internet. They probably went to their church if they're part of a church. They may have even talked to friends that were very Christian or in the church or whatever. Who knows? But usually by the time they actually want to call or contact a paranormal investigation team, they're pretty desperate for help. So to have, this is a lot of times that one shot for them to get that help, that they're obviously probably tortured from whatever's going on in their home, and they're just at their wits' end. They really need help, and and then they finally get a hold of the one group of people they think that could help them the best, and all of a sudden they're told, hey, we need money. I mean, that's messed up. So always remember that, guys, especially if you're an experienced investigator out there. If people come to you and they really need help, work with them, do the best you can. Now, again, there's some clients it's hard to coordinate and things like that, and there's always other circumstances. But as far as just trying to be there for people, try to do your best and try to be there for people and help them out. And if you don't feel like you can, then say, hey, look, I don't think I'm experienced enough to handle your situation, but let me find somebody that can, okay? Because I want to make sure that you're taken care of. Like, assure them that. At least don't just give up on them. Prostitutes. Last resort is what most folks make a call for help. Prostitutes. I don't know what. Am I missing something? Did I say something? Wait. Oh, if we ask for money, does that make us paranormal? And then that's when Stacey said prostitutes. Prostitutes. I don't know. So, yeah, if you take money for that, maybe you could be a paranormal whore. I don't know. Depends. You're doing it for money, right? But guys, just seriously, be good to people. I mean, we're in this industry to help people. I mean, and like I said, there is situations now. Again, if people are wanting your team to show up as an appearance, that's something PR. That's like management related. That's not, helping. When people need help, that's when you try to do your best to help people. And yes, screen your clients. Screen your clients the best you can. Ask them questions over the phone. Really try to talk to them as much as you can over the phone and try to gauge whether or not they truly need your help. And it's tough. Sometimes you show up to some people's houses and it can be weird. But again, do your best, be as professional as you can, and just know that there is a support system out there. If you're watching me, and you have issues with things that you can't handle, you contact me. I know people. We'll find somebody to help you, or I can maybe guide you. I mean, I've got a lot of experience, but if it's something that you need help, again, I know experts or people that know a lot more than me, and I'm not ashamed to admit that. I've been doing this off and on for 25 years, but I know some people that are really book smart and do a little, you can pretty much ask them anything and they can tell you right there on the spot, and some of them are in the chat tonight. So again, I've got people that surround me that are a good support system for paranormal. So whether it's religion, whether it's witchcraft, whether it's by the book stuff, I know a little bit of everybody on that. So we got you covered on the spectrum. All right. So just remember that. Just don't have a paragasm. I don't know. Isn't that? Wait a minute. I don't know. Never mind. I was gonna say something stupid. I was like para-orgasm. That's like when you ghost it. I don't like fake it. I don't know. I don't know where we're going with this, folks. It's getting to be the end of the night, I guess. I don't know, but let's see. Oh, there is something to keep an eye out for. So Terry-Lynn and I just got done filming a small little short film. It's under 2 minutes long. I can't say a lot about it yet, other than I can't wait for you guys to see it. And it's cool. It's just a cool little thing. And it's kind of like an ad in a way, but it's a fun thing. And we are going to be debuting it real soon. So yes, we are going to be debuting that short film real soon. I just doing some of the final, polishing touches on it. Maybe I think probably not tonight, but probably this weekend because I want to do one more little film piece that I've just got to film, just a small little thing. But other than that, keep an eye on that is the short film. Also, again, Para Explorers. If you guys have not seen the Para Explorers, please go check that out. And let's just take one quick little. You guys know I've got to show you. So here you go.
Your team has been chosen. You must complete all of the tasks. I do not tolerate failure.
So there you go. So guys, if you haven't seen it already, go check it out. Seriously, episode 2. Can't really comment much on everything, but go check it out. There's a lot of cool stuff on Paraflix. So again, I'm working with some really cool people. Again, Paranormal Underground magazine, amazing magazine. Paraflix is an amazing streaming platform. It's like dirt cheap now. It's like $4 a month, I think, or something like that. Super cheap. I think you can do a year for like $30. I mean, super duper cheap. But a lot of content, a lot of original type of content that's exclusive to just that. So, judging by the banging on the ceiling above me, I'm pretty sure Terry Lynn wants me to mention my birthday present. So Terry Lynn said you'd finish if you weren't distracted from your birthday present. But so yes, my birthday comes up is on October 4th, but sometimes when you find the right deals and so Terry Lynn, she got me an electronic drum set. So, and it's not just like some cheesy little toy electronic drum set. It's a pretty nice one. And it's like an Alesis, what is it called? Not turbo, but nitro, like Alesis nitro, whatever, and double bass pedal, drum throne, like all this stuff, like just getting, all the stuff. So, and I haven't sat on a drum set in like 15 years. So mostly because I was afraid to break the seat, but I have not sat on a drum set pretty much in like 15 years. So, it was really cool of her to surprise me with that. And so I've been, playing a few times in this last few days because she got it just the other day. So, yeah, it's been pretty cool. I've been fun. I'd probably play it after the show if it wasn't so late, and I don't want to wear the headphones with it right now because it's fun to just like jam out. Kind of not really like super loud, but it's a drum set. You gotta have fun. But Bob, of course, taking it to the fishnet stockings and whip stuff, of course. So no, and no. Josh is a drumming fool now. Yeah, I mean, it's hard. Like I said, you guys know that I worked a couple jobs, so like, trust me, it's like I want to play in between. Like I said, not that I would cancel the show to go play, but I almost thought about it. No, I wouldn't do that to you guys. But yeah, like so tomorrow maybe after work, I'm gonna try to play like this weekend, maybe try to get a little more in. But I've been trying to make some set lists of some old songs I used to play to, and it's different now that I'm older and fatter and stuff, and I'm not as agile as I used to be. So my mind, like it's there. I'm playing it. I'm playing the drums, and I can still kind of hold a beat and still do some things, but I'm definitely not where I used to be. That's for sure. And it's like, man, my mind is like it's trying to tell some of my body parts to do things. It's like, hey, I need you to move. I need you to do this, and then like it doesn't. And Bob, leave that alone. so yes, there you guys go. There's what Terry Lynn was alluding to, my birthday present. So yeah, I appreciate that. I see you see me. She said it's really cool. It will come back. Yeah, I mean it. In a way, it was almost like riding a bike kind of thing. I did get on it, like, and I was able to start playing. But again, my mind was like, "Hey, I can do." My mind was there thinking of all the things I could do on the drums. So I'm trying to do it. Like when I first sat down on it, I'm like, "Yeah," and then there was just sounds like, it just came out like crap. But my mind, it was cool. So yeah. But I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But guys, I hope as I start to wrap this up, I hope you guys enjoyed paranormal laundering. Remember, you guys can use that term now. And again, just as a recap, paranormal laundering, this is when, again, if the investigator doesn't see it and the audience member sees it, therefore it's got to be real. He didn't see it. Somebody else pointed out. Or, hey, it was a live show, so therefore it's got to be real. Or, hey, it was uncut. It was uncut. I swear. It was uncut. It had to be real. It's uncut. Or they don't normally do paranormal, right? So, therefore, it's real. Or the technology didn't exist back then in that old piece of footage to fake it. Did I miss any? I think that might have been it. But in any case, it's taking that fake staged paranormal, running it through the filter of the audience, us, the suckers, the subscribers, and us saying, it's got to be real because no, stop doing that. Quit laundering their paranormal fakeness. Quit making it legitimate. All right. Look and see some of these fake techniques. So I will be working on that 2-part video for you guys on how to fake paranormal. That way you can see what I'm talking about. I'm going to show you guys how to fake paranormal. I know it sounds weird, but I'm going to show you guys. You guys are always talking about it, and I'm going to literally show you guys how to fake paranormal. That way you can, you see for yourself. It's like a magician revealing the magic tricks, right? How they do that? Well, I'm going to show you. You want to use them yourself? You can use them yourself. But of course, keep in mind, people are going to know how you did it. But I'm going to show you guys. So hopefully that video will go well. I'll probably get my son and wife to help me film that, or maybe even over the weekend or sometime coming up here real soon. But we'll get that. Appreciate all the compliments, guys. I really care about you guys. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys for showing up. I mean, you guys are always like my own little family off to the side. You guys make me and Terry Lynn feel so good by showing up most of the time. I do try to do shows all the time. Again, last week I had I lost my grandfather, and my grandparents raised me. So my grandfather, he worked hard for our family, but he had passed away that Saturday morning. And of course, the funeral and the cremation was like Tuesday and Wednesday and all that type stuff. So when it came to Thursday, I just wasn't quite ready to really get on there and talk about ghosts and stuff when I just lost my grandfather. But other than that, guys, I have other stuff we can talk about on another episode. And again, I'm waiting on a few people to find out if we're going to have some more guests on the show. I'm trying to get a hold of a few people. but they suck at communication. I don't know what it is about communication. You think, what's so hard? People message you, whatever. Just message them back. And you know who I'm talking about out there. Just message me. Like I'm easy to talk to. I work all the time. Message me, man. When I message you, just message me back. That's cool. I'm trying to get you on the show. But yes, but yeah, I appreciate the kind words. Again, like I said, you guys are also like family, and I'm glad to see everybody's here and okay. And I hope you guys still maintain everything, especially when we just had that hurricane that went through. And I know there was a couple of you that were affected a little bit by it, so I'm glad to see that people made it through. But anyways, but guys, I appreciate you very much. Thank you for all the kind words, and I hope to see you guys next week. I don't even know what I got planned for you because it's either going to be another show potentially, but I thought about this whole paranormal laundering thing. It came to me. I was like, hey, that's a good way to put it, is paranormal laundering. That's exactly what they're doing. So when I had that sort of epiphany today of the term paranormal laundering, I said, that's it. That's what I'm going to do the show on. So other than that, guys, I cannot wait to see you guys next week. Remember, seek the truth. Until next time.